Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today, here at vidIQ, we're talking about consistency, and guess what? A little more consistency. Let's do this.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com. Hello everybody, welcome to the vidIQ live stream. Now, just before we jump into consistency, some of you in Europe may be thinking, hang on, Rob isn't being consistent this week because you are publishing or going live an hour early. Well, that might be the case for you, but in the US, the clocks go forward an hour extra. We're not bringing this live stream forward because of the Brexit vote, which is going to mean that my home country descends into the bottom of the sea. We are publishing, as always, at 11 o'clock our time, but it may be a little earlier for you in Europe. So do say hello. Let us know where you are in the world. As I welcome, as always, we're going to try and get this right, Jeremy. You are the YouTube guru, old guy, video marketing expert, gardening geek, skateboard nerd, the hero of starting airplane channels on YouTube, and what's the one that we did very recently that it's gone my head? The worst but rapidly improving shout out video creator on YouTube. How are you, Jeremy? Welcome to the live stream.
I'm doing great.
With that, Jeremy, let's kick us off with some shout outs. Who have we got here this week?
All right, we have Tearcat, Slavguard, Rosa, Lifetime, Everything Under the Sun, TJ Challenge, CW Gaming, and Hayes House.
You see, you are getting confidence there, Jerry. I'm liking the enthusiasm. I'm also going to say hello to Google Mode, Animino Sakai, Ramon Tashorma Vlogs, I'm a Nerd, Epic Cardboard Props, Barb, TJ Challenge, Angel of the Grove, Snotty for Everyone, Doing Exploring, Bragon, sorry if I got your name wrong there, Day and Kai, Unique Fit, For Everybody in High Definition today, Daniel Coburn X, The Cruiserways, Jays, hello to you, regular visitor here, and Jeremy, a couple more shout outs before we kick off this week's live stream.
We have One Horn, Prey and Mesh. Did you already say those?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Bella XN, No Life Sonorlax, and Sleepstream.
Hello to every single one of you joining the live stream this week. If you are new to vidIQ, we have a YouTube tool and channel that aims to educate you on your YouTube journey. Not only are we a YouTube channel, we also have some awesome software which you can download, which we'll maybe cover a little later on in this live stream. There's a link in the description if you want to download that right now. And what you may be wondering here is, if you are new, is that we're doing something that's very consistent here. We've just done our intro. We've just done a couple of shout outs. I've introduced Jeremy. That's something we always do every single live stream. And there is a very specific reason for that, because we have a show formula. We have a format here in the live stream, which we are trying to improve every single week. But not only that, it allows people to join the live stream, because if you've done live streams before, you'll know that when it first starts, for the first 5 to 10 minutes, you have maybe half of your expected maximum audience in the live stream. So that's a little tactic if you are doing live streams in the future. But today, Jeremy, what we are talking about in general is consistency. And we've got 10 points because we looked at thumbnails last week and a lot of you loved our 10 checkpoint list, and we've got another one today. So we're going to talk through all of these topics, and then we're going to have a screenshot, which you can definitely take a screenshot and share on social media, just like you did last week at vidIQ, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That's where you will usually find us. So Jeremy, just to quickly sum up, what does consistency mean to you before we go into some of the detail?
Well, as a viewer, I love a lot of YouTube channels. I'm a big fan of a lot of channels. I want to make sure that at least once a week, I know what day people are posting so I can get ready for it. So, I can make time for it. And if I don't get that, then I don't really rely on that creator and I really don't become a fan.
Absolutely, I think there's a couple of points that you just jumped on there, which are what we're going to be talking about in the next couple of minutes. So, folks, let us know in the live chat here what consistency means to you on YouTube. And Jeremy, now let's just jump straight into it. We've got 10 points here, and we're going to cover one at a time this week. Jeremy did all 10 last week, but I thought, I'm going to contribute this time so that we can share the load here. So, the number one, not number one. These are listed in priority, but when I was going through my list of what consistency means to me, I kind of flipped it on its head and put myself in the viewer's mindset and said, when I visit a channel or watch a video of perhaps a video creator that I've seen before, what are my expectations? What should I be looking for? Whether I'm interested in video games, cars, beauty, there's a certain expectation when you visit a video creator that you're aware of that you think you should be watching. And I think that's a very simplistic way to look at things, but consistency of expectation from the audience. You try and put your mind in what they expect to watch, just like you're doing with this live stream. What do you expect from this live stream, from vidIQ every single week? And I think that's the first thing to really think about. Taking yourself out of your own head and what do I want to create? And what does your audience expect from you? Jeremy, what do you think for number 2? What might be next in consistency?
Yeah, so I think of creating a YouTube channel like someone would make a brick wall. You have to lay each brick one at a time. And then at the end, you have this big, massive wall that you've created. If you had 100 videos that all had 10,000 views, that's 1 million views. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a consistent strategy to keep on putting out videos every week, then how are you going to build your wall? How are you going to get that foundation, your first 100, your first 1,000, your first 10,000 subscribers? It's viral is not a business plan. So it's just one brick at a time.
Absolutely. That's a brilliant point in terms of building foundations. And while all of those bricks may look very similar, they're all going to have slight imperfections or indentations that make them unique. And that's the point that we're going to look at a little later here. The next point I want us to look at, and this is something that you're certainly going to be seeing a lot of later on. We do channel audits, of course. We're going to deal with channel audits in about 5 to 10 minutes. And that is creating a flow of consistency from channel banner to thumbnail. Now, you may not think that a channel banner is that important because maybe not that many people visit your channel homepage, but if you have a mindset of saying that I want everything in my shop window, my business, to have a flow of consistency, then it does really start with that channel banner. That sort of sets everything up as we're looking through these channel audits. And whether it's like coloring or objects or imagery, I think ensuring that when you're designing everything, you're going back to a core root. You might have a template which has a certain number of colors in, let's say like vidIQ, we have this certain blue theme that we use, and other channels will certainly have a strong color that dominates their presence, and that's something that we'll find out a lot more about when we look at channels. What's next, Jeremy?
All right, a viewer should be able to identify consistent channel patterns almost instantly. So if you probably have some creators you like, you can probably identify their thumbnails just by, that's Sean Canal or whoever it is, right? And the reason you can do that is they've thought through personal branding. And if each one of your thumbnails and your banner, like Rob said, is all different, even if the show formula and the video itself is completely different every time, people won't know what to expect. They won't have the consistency. They won't know who you are, and they won't click on your content. One of the biggest things we see every week is we see inconsistency in design and show formulas. And people don't know what to expect from you if they don't know, like if one thumbnail looks different than the other versus the other, then why would people click on your videos?
Next point, establish a consistent posting schedule. Jeremy has said this, that when he visits a channel, he usually has an expectation of 1 video a week. And a posting schedule can come in many different ways. For example, we don't strictly say when we post our videos on videos. It's more a case of we do a live stream on a Tuesday and we tend to post a video on a Monday. But just because there may be things happening throughout the week that change our mentality, like a lot of trending topics. So I think certainly having lay down something in your own mindset. I know it's like some channels just have like on their channel banner videos posted weekly, which is kind of their get out clause of saying when exactly they're going to post, but they're making a commitment to the audience that you are going to see at least some regular content. So I think more consistent is better, but from personal experience, I know that's a very difficult thing to hold on to. So I just think making sure that you're hitting inboxes, subscription feeds, at least once a week, at maximum 2 or 3 times a day is probably good. And I've said this before, that try and give yourself a little bit of capacity for taking breaks. Like if you can produce 4 videos a week, then produce 3 videos a week, and then you got that experimental phase and so on. But yeah, certainly making sure that you don't have big gaps like a big 4-month break or a year's break is certainly something that you want to avoid on YouTube. What's next, Jeremy?
All right, consistency builds trust, which leads to more fans and community and subscribers. In branding, we call this trust transference, or you can even just say this is social proof. But essentially, when you get to 100 subscribers, you're going to probably, if you stay consistent with your content, have more subscribers go to you. And when you get to 1,000 and 10,000 and 100,000 and 1,000,000 subscribers, the more social proof you have, the more likely people are just to automatically click that subscribe button. It's a subconscious, oh, are they good enough for me to deal with? If 1,000,000 other people think they are, then I'll just click on it. So when we went from 100,000 subscribers to nearly 300,000 subscribers, that journey was really, really fast because we already had that social proof of the first 100,000.
And I think something you said just a little earlier in your intro, Jeremy, about viral videos are not a business. I mean, you can have a viral video that gets 1 million views, but what's the strategy after that? I mean, you may get some nice AdSense from it, but are you building an audience, building trust, being able to sell your services on YouTube and off YouTube? Yeah, absolutely. Now, number 7. This is an interesting one. We're talking about consistency, but you can do overkill in consistency, whereby you're mistaken inconsistency with repetition. Sometimes we see thumbnails, this is a good example, where the thumbnail is exactly the same in every single video, and maybe they've changed the episode number or they've changed the title, but everything looks the same. And then you create a bit of I guess what you might call thumbnail wallpaper, where you can't even distinguish the difference between certain videos. And that can be the same in your content and your branding, where you've gone too far with consistency and it turns into something more than that. So try to avoid that in your consistency. What's next, Jeremy? Number 8 here.
All right. So like all YouTube disciplines, consistency takes a lot of time and effort. And this goes back to my analogy. Rob always makes fun of my analogies of the brick wall. It takes a long time to I
think this is a good one. I'm giving you the thumbs up on this one, Jeremy, this week.
It takes a long time to make a wall or build a house, or, everything that's worth doing takes a lot of time. If you look up, 3 years from now and you're just cranking out videos and you're at 100 subs now, you're realistically 3 years from now, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000. Even if you're not winning like big, even if you're not just crushing it, you can keep on going, and not all of us are going to be superstars. And in fact, I would argue that some of the most successful creators I know are under 100,000 subs, financially successful, I mean. So
yeah, it can depend on the genre and the topic, doesn't it? Where it's just a smaller audience base.
But anyways, that was my answer.
All right, number 9. So we talked about all of the things that are good for consistency. Now we need to try and determine what are the symptoms of a lack of consistency in terms of maybe analytics. And one thing you'll certainly recognize if you're producing content, and let's say you're getting an average of 1,000 views per video or around about that range, and then all of a sudden you have a video that has maybe 200 or 300 views. That's a sign of lack of consistency in terms of audience expectation and content. Now, sometimes you may do this on purpose. It might be a community video or like a celebration of hitting 100 subscribers and only your core audience is interested in that video. So certainly looking at I think view counts is like the earliest indication. And Jeremy, we were talking about this just before we went live, and you showed me a graph on your channel whereby you get like the watch time bombs when you publish a new video, but then you had like gaps, and then when you published videos again, the watch time bomb was a little lower because I guess the audience had drifted away. So that was a symptom of poor publishing schedule. Was there anything else you noticed on your channel? Small as it is still a good sample size there that you've been looking at.
Yeah, so I have like a test sample. I don't really put content on there. But when I was consistently putting up videos every week, my average daily views were triple what it is today.
Yeah.
So that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. So my average, I have big spikes on the day or two from the launch, but for 2 or 3 weeks, I'll have spikes that are consistent. So if you put out consistent content, you're going to have more than likely a consistent flow of views. If you don't, then it's just going to be all over the place.
And I will finish off the last one here. Although we've been talking about consistency, if you're always following the rules, I guess, in terms of consistency, posting schedule, posting regular content that's consistent with your format, you may be missing out on big experimental opportunities. And that's why on the thumbnail of this video, we've got lots of red YouTube icons and then a black one in the middle, just to remind you that sometimes learning the rules and then breaking them can be a good example. Just to give you an example, obviously we are very strong on helping you get more views and subscribers, but we wanted to experiment about what would happen if we tried to do what Jeremy calls his fame hacking or trend following with the PewDiePie versus T series. You've seen a couple of those videos over the last 5 months, and they've generated a significant number of views, which have transferred themselves into a generally wider audience. For example, right now, Jeremy, we've got 180 people watching this live stream. Before we did all of that PewDiePie content, we maybe got 100 to 120. So some of those people who've watched that content have moved on to our regular content about improving your channel and growing as a video creator. So, and that's through experimentation. And if we'd not taken those risks, then maybe we'd still be getting the 120. But whoever's here, of course, we love that you do join the live stream every week. So what I'm going to do now to help you folks get ready with your screenshots is kabow. We've just put on the full checklist here. So Jeremy, I'm going to let you read out one and then I'll read out one because people like pattern interrupts in terms of voice.
Sure. What do you expect when you're watching a creator? Make sure that I won't explain it again. Go ahead,
Audience
Rob.
mindset. Number 2, wow, I got that so bad. Content consistency is the key to channel growth.
Number 3, create a flow of consistency from channel banner to thumbnail.
Number 4, a viewer should be able to identify consistent channel patterns almost instantly the second they look at the channel.
And number 5, establish a consistent posting schedule.
This is starting to feel like a rundown of the top 10 singles for this week. Number 6, consistency builds trust, which leads to subscribers, fans, and the folks watching this live stream right now, the community. We love you. Mwah.
Don't mistake consistency with repetition.
Like all YouTube disciplines, consistency takes time and effort, so try to improve your consistency 1% with every video that you make.
And what are the symptoms of a lack of consistency? You're going to lose your average daily views probably by 2 or 3 times. Check
your analytics and check the audience response as well in the comments. And finally, of course, ignore all of the points we've just given you. Leave some room for experimentation every once in a while. That's it, folks, for our look at consistency this week. Do give me an emoji of how you thought that went in the live chat. You are, of course, watching the vidIQ live stream, where every week we talk about a topic and then we audit your channels, which is exactly what we are going to do in 2 minutes when we give you a rundown of just how this works. So we've got a new checklist on the screen now, which happens every single week. There is a link in the video description that you fill out a form just to give us a bit of information about your channel size, the link so I can put it on screen, and then we will audit it right now. Don't ask for a review or a channel audit in the chat because Jeremy and I are not actively looking at that, although our moderators are. We do appreciate moderators joining every single week. You may be putting time out if you're spamming the chat asking for a audit. Super chats, the financial contribution that you can give us, while welcome, does not guarantee you an audit either, because we don't want to create a financial barrier here. And Jeremy, I always love leaving this point to you. Why can we sometimes not fit everybody in?
So we usually have between 1 and 200 submissions every week. And it's pretty crazy. So we love all of you and we want to do as many channels audits as we can. But a little side tip here, just listen to our advice and apply it to your own channel. 90% of what we're going to say, like consistency, is going to apply to your channel. So if you really want to learn from us, take the knowledge we're giving all of the channels and apply all of that to your channel, and you'll probably do a lot better because you'll be able to internalize it for yourself.
Boom. And yeah, we're talking about more general themes. Like we talked about thumbnails a lot last week, and we're going to be talking about consistency and where we look through the channels this week. So that's a core focus, and you can apply that to your channel even if we're not necessarily looking at yours. Now, I just wanted to say that if you cannot get an audit today, we do apologize, but vidIQ has its own 24-hour, 7 days a week consultant. Jeremy, can you believe this? Like, who is this person who audits everybody's channels every single week? Well, it's this button right here. If you click on channel audit, fingers crossed it works, it's going to give you a channel breakdown of everything that's going on in your channel, and it goes a little bit slower when we're on the live stream, but now you can start to see that we're getting information about our channel health. Jeremy, we're up 100% views this week. This month. I always love to show that statistic when it's working, and it then shows you stuff like content to double down on, but unfortunately some of the bits aren't working. That's really frustrating. I'm going to try and get this working later on, but I think it's due to the live stream that's taking up some of my bandwidth, but it will give you a full breakdown of like which videos are getting the most views, which ones are getting the most subscribers, like all sorts of awesome stuff that will help you determine which videos are working for you and then be consistent on that content to help you in the future. So with that being said, Jeremy, it's now time for some channel audits. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready to go.
Are you feeling good about this? Okay, then let me just press my correct button. Sorry, I'm looking down at my stream deck here to make sure everything works. It is working this week. Thank everybody who managed to get that working. And the first channel we're going to look at here, I think, Jeremy, I'm going to let you lead on the first channel this week. And we are looking at LHI Productions, nearly 100 subscribers. Congratulations to you. And now let's see if we can identify the consistent areas of a channel and what could be more consistent.
Sure. So the first thing I would say is just the color of the banner versus the images on the thumbnails. They're, it's like a stark black to all over the all different types of colors. So that's kind of inconsistent. Another thing is building awesome stuff is really tiny. I'm old. But even still, I don't think the average person will actually see it. They may just kind of gloss past that. So I would maybe make building awesome stuff about the same width as your logo in the line underneath it so that people can see that more. And then I would actually have you on the screen in your banner. And then I would find a way to your topography and your fonts are all over the place. So I would find a way to keep those consistent, use the same font every week. Make sure that if you are going to use red, I would put a black box under it.
Yeah, it's funny that the consistent thing here is the color red, but red rarely works well in thumbnails. So you kind of have to somehow work that in if you want to stick with a red color.
Yeah, if you want to stick with red, you're probably going to have to put a black box underneath it or a white box because you just need, when you're doing thumbnail design, emphasis, flow, repetition, alignment, balance, and color theory are really important. So you just want to make sure people can see the thing that you're showing.
Let's look a little bit at the content itself then. Like where one of the things I forgot to mention in the checklist is that when we look at a video, we're looking at it for the first time. So we have a first impression view, and if we can't really identify what the content's about, then and we're specifically looking for it, how would a potential viewer be able to understand what the content is? But I think here there is a consistency of content to the degree that it looks to be maybe around carving or wood or like building a certain type of thing. I'm getting that sort of vibe, but not super strongly. How does it feel for you, Jeremy? Can you? Yeah,
to me, it probably looks like blacksmithing, working with metal.
Yeah, okay. So maybe we have to think about, is there a potential keyword phrase that can help with the titles? Because just as if we look at some of the titles, how to make a rebar dagger, I'm sorry if I've pronounced that wrong, how to forge a simple spade hook, how to make a hot dog fork. So there's how to certainly seems to be a dominant keyword that they're using, and I think that. So each one is like a different type of metal, I guess. Is there any way that there could be some tweaks here, improved? Like if we're going to look at a spade hook, should there be several videos on that? Or where else could a video creator go?
I definitely would, figure out something like DIY blacksmith forging or forge for all the titles that are about that, so that you have more consistency. And then if you have like Rob said, if you have a specific thing that's very popular, you may want to do a series of 10 or 20 videos on that thing, so you can become the perceived thought leader. Another thing this does is if you put out videos every week on DIY blacksmith forging or forge, then you're going to become focused, and people that are searching for that will find you more often.
All right, so I think LHI Productions, you got some fundamental things there. We're talking about Jeremy is building the brick wall. You kind of maybe built like the first 2 or 3 layers, and now you just maybe need to take 1 or 2 bricks out and put some more refined bricks in there. And Jeremy, I hope his metaphor is going some way in the right direction. But yeah, so some good fundamentals there at LHI Productions, but just some tweaks needed, certainly with the font coloring and maybe establishing. I think we know what your focus is, but finding the specific focus that's going to really help you and then be consistent on that is probably what you're still trying to find out as a relatively new video creator with 20 videos and just under 100 subscribers. All right, let's move on then. I will look at this one to begin with. It is 303 Street Machines, and I look at this channel for 5 seconds and I know that it's about cars of some description. To me, it looks as if it's maybe about not necessarily classic cars, but cars that are a generation old, and there seems to be some sort of speed element there or drag racing. The one thing I'm going to notice here right away is the biggest problem with this channel is, I would say, a huge missed opportunity. You posted a video a month ago, but then there was a gap of 3 years. And when I look at the videos from those few years ago, you had some videos in the thousands of views. One here from 7 years ago, 220,000 views. I mean, I'm sort of going out on a limb here, Jeremy, but I'm saying that if this channel had continued to do what they did 10 years ago, at the very inception of YouTube, they could have a channel with millions of subscribers if they continue to work at that pace that time ago. But that opportunity's kind of gone now, so they need to almost start a little bit from scratch. Any things that you're picking up here, other than the obvious issue that they need to start posting some content?
Yeah, I mean, 303 Street Machines, I'm guessing, is Colorado street racing or drag racing.
Oh, there you go. Insider knowledge there.
I'm also a closet car fan.
Check that off on the list as well.
So I would probably put those keywords in your titles, Colorado street racing, things like that. And then you used for 1992 Ford Mustang notchback. Notchback is fine, but you also didn't add Fox body, which is one of the biggest terms on YouTube for Mustangs. So just be more careful of what people are searching for. And try in your titles to answer questions people are asking. For example, Colorado street racing is probably a term people are searching for. And then try to group all of your videos together in logical series so that you can make more and more videos. For example, if you had 100 videos on your channel on Colorado street racing, you're probably going to rank really high for that term.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing I see, the biggest opportunity is just having what the video is about at a deeper level, and then work on your thumbnails. Thumbnails for cars should be some of the best thumbnails in the world. If it doesn't look exciting and dangerous, then people aren't going to click on it.
Yeah, we could go into thumbnails, but I think principally the video creator needs to decide whether or not they want to, I guess, restart their YouTube channel here and, as you say, get 20, 30 videos out in the next 6 months, because in total you've only done, I'd say, 25 videos there. So I hope 303 Street Machines, this is the inspiration and the catalyst, using a bit of car terminology there, that's the only car terminology I know, to get you back into the YouTube game. Jeremy, I'll let you take this one away. And look, it's another car channel, but I think there's quite a contrast here between what we just saw and what we're looking at now. Yeah, I really like the thumbnails here. They are a little consistent, like almost too consistent in a way. It's always like that white cat, BMW. Yeah, the cat eye, BMW headlight. So get more creative with your shots. You don't always want to show the same type of headlight shot for your BMW here. But all in all, I think it looks great. A really good theme. One thing is I'm noticing sometimes you have good titles and sometimes you don't. Okay, let's have some examples then. What would be an example of a good title here? So my BMW E92 M3 spec, what mods have been, whatever. Mm-hmm. That is a great title because people are probably typing in BMW E92 M3. Yeah. So that is probably the most important information of the entire, what you're doing and what your car is all about. And it seems to be a fairly not super common car. So I'm imagining people are typing that name of the car in. So I would put that towards the beginning of the title and then everything else, what the video is about, towards the end. I also like 5 things I love about my BMW E92 M3, even though I just said the opposite. Everything's in there and there's a good reason to click. So some of the video things, I would say something like, I drove over 2,500 miles to deliver this. I don't know what this is. So yeah, I mean, sometimes you're just not having some type of keywords in there. From my point of view, consistency with fonts and text needs to be improved. Much bigger text if you're going to include it. For example, this one here, the 5 things I love about my BMW, the text is, I'm going to be honest, useless in this case. I can't read it at all. So either make it bigger or don't have it at all. And I think just consistency of layout in terms of this one here. What's it like driving a BMW in America? I think that's a really intriguing title. But I think the thumbnail here, while it has a BMW, it has a policeman which is blocked by the timestamp, so never put anything in the bottom left-hand corner. And that policeman should probably be much bigger on screen to try and tease the audience that something happened with the law in that video, to just make it stronger. What I would also say is that when you look at all of the BMW thumbnails here, Jeremy, like you can see a super consistent view count here, like almost 1,000 to 2,000 views in every video. And then when we have something like here, you drove over 2,500 miles to deliver this, which is something probably, might be a BMW X5, no, it's a Jeep. So there's a change in content there, and you can see that the view count looks as if it's going to be generally lower. So that's a good example of where switching consistency can have quite significant impacts on your core audience. Because when you're having 700 subscribers and each of these BMW videos are getting like double the subscriber size, I think that's a clear indication that that's what YouTube wants you to post on a consistent basis. Next channel is, let's see, Michael Hale. I'll let you start off with this one, Jeremy, only because it looks like it's like an SEO video marketing one, and I know you have experience in this area yourself. 10 subscribers, only 4 videos so far, but some brilliant fundamentals and looks as if some consistent stuff already.
Yeah, and I saw this thumbnail, the block bad comments, in our thumbnail group today on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
So really neat. I'm glad you're there as well. And it looks like you are killing thumbnails. I mean, these are phenomenal. So he has 4 videos, and look at those thumbnails for a new channel. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. All right. Let's just focus on these thumbnails a little bit then. So what are the consistent aspects of these thumbnails? And I would say we've got these, and they're really subtle, but these yellow sort of trim lines and the logo in the bottom left-hand corner of each of these so far. Sometimes the hero is in the thumbnail. The font is similar and the colours are similar. There's still a bit of experimentation going on a little bit here, but those are the consistent things I've already seen in the thumbnails. What else, Jeremy?
And you can put complicated designs in text if you have these boxes underneath them.
Yeah.
He's done a very good job of isolating the eyes into, objects, if you will. And he is experimenting. He has a pink version. He has the white version. So I say kudos. These are phenomenal. The only thing I would add is I personally think that email iPhone made easy or email Android made easy is less text and a lot less complicated to visually look at.
We're just going to canvass our audience here. I was going to say, folks, if we divide these two into thumbnail A and thumbnail B, which would you prefer? But Jeremy's already sort of hinted at the answer. But I agree with you. I think simplicity here is certainly more powerful because I guess when you look at these thumbnails, how many focus points are they? Because of the different font colors, it's kind of like 3 different types of font there, plus the characters. So there's 4 things that we're focusing on here, whereas here it feels like there's more like 2 or 3, like the little subtle inclusion of a brand icon, a person, and then just a bit of text. I mean, people may differ on that, but yeah, do let us know on that.
There's one more thing, Michael, that you really need to focus on one discipline, whether you're teaching people how to do YouTube or SEO or iPhone stuff. I would just take one of those videos, websites, SEO, internet things, and just focus on it.
To begin with, at least, yeah.
Well, maybe even forever. And I'll give you an example. A buddy of mine, it's about 50,000 subscribers, but he should be at about 400,000 subscribers. And the reason for that is he ranks extremely high for web design, but he does not necessarily rank super high for what he's doing today. Right. So people go to the site, he's no longer doing, web design content, he's doing other content, and then people leave. So you really need to focus even more into one thing, honestly, or I just feel like people are going to come for iPhone tips and leave because they just see the newest content about YouTube tips.
Yeah. That's always a bit of a conundrum, isn't it, for educational how-to channels? It's, do I stick or twist with a particular topic? How loyal are these subscribers? And so on. I also like that you have a posting schedule. You're committing to Tuesday and Thursday. All good, clear fundamentals. I think for any video creator that's got maybe less than 50 to 100 subscribers, we should be using this kind of look and feel to how to brand your channel to begin with. All right, next channel. I don't know if we've looked at this channel before, Jeremy. It feels familiar, but when I was looking through the channels, what I found really interesting here from Miss Hans Lifestyle, a channel with 2,500 subscribers, and you look at certain videos where D-Mart is mentioned. I think the first breakthrough video you might call is this one here with 40,000 views. And if we did audit this channel, I'm pretty sure we probably said do more D-Mart stuff. And then we have videos here with 11,000 views, 163,000 views, 14,000 views. So whenever they're covering that particular keyword, they are crushing it, which I think really re-emphasizes when you find something to double down on, consistency through that content is going to be really strong. And then like the I guess the contrast between where you're focusing on your topic, tens of thousands of views, where you talk to your still relatively small community, you get 100 views, although it is an hour old, but we're probably thinking that video may get maybe 1,000 views at max. So I think the content is absolutely nailed down in the consistency there. Then again, Jeremy, we talk about this, the culture in India and how the thumbnails differ somewhat, that more text seems to be more powerful, but I think there's still some improvements that could be made here. What do you think?
Absolutely. I would just have less text altogether and more contrast. So I would replace the red text with white on that black background, or yellow.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of reach already, this channel's doing incredible, isn't it? I mean, wow.
Oh yeah,
hundreds of thousands of views.
And in London, I audited a lot of channels about this store, and I mean, there's people with over 100,000 subscribers on channels like this, so it's pretty popular.
Folks, if you are in the chat and you do know what DMART is, because I have no idea. I assume it's maybe I can maybe guess like a grocery store, dollar store type thing in India or Pakistan. Just let us know in the comments to help us out here, folks. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a short break to allow yourselves to have a bit of a comfort break, if that's what you want. Check out how the Brexit vote is going. I know Jeremy is very keen to see what's going on with that, and I'm going to load some more channels and audit yours, so make sure to fill out that form right now. We will be back after these sponsored messages from ourselves. Does running a YouTube channel sometimes make you feel dazed and confused? Well, that's why you might need a little education. vidIQ can review your channel in seconds, 24 hours a day. It's like having your own YouTube consultant giving you all of this information. Do a YouTube search and we'll show you the stats, the value of that keyword, what's related, what's trending, what tags each video uses, and a deep dive with a single click.
greensandmachines.com garden
After research comes
you will
analysis.
know that at that
Our
several
video
gardens
scorecard will
living in a
pick
few
apart
different
all the important analytics from social media to SEO, and we do this for every single video on YouTube for free. And when it comes to uploading your videos, vidIQ is here to support you every step of the way, with suggested keywords, our SEO score ranking, upload checklist, and recommended tags, boosting your content to the next level. Oh, and if you think we finished there, we haven't even started. We have dozens more tools we want to show you right now. All you need to do is download vidIQ now and let us help educate you on your YouTube journey today. All right, folks, we are returning back to our live stream channel audits. Just before we move on to the next channel, which is Green Machines, if you are enjoying this live stream, do make sure to give it a thumbs up. We always appreciate the love and engagement on YouTube. If you're new to vidIQ and you think, yeah, this is awesome, I love these channel audits, I want to know more about what you do, then make sure to subscribe, because we publish a consistent amount of content every single week. And if you think other video creators who you know or work with would find this sort of information useful, make sure to share this live stream and the fact that vidIQ is awesome. Hashtag vidIQ for life. Jeremy, we're going to start with Green Machines in the second round of audits. By the way, Jeremy, how many channels do you think have submitted audits, channels to audit this week so far?
Probably over 100 at least.
We are now at 101, so yeah, we have now broken 100 barrier again. We'll try and get through as many as possible. What do you think of green machines? Where are we going with this one?
All right. So I've the first thing I notice is I'm confused because I see machines, I see beer, I see grapes. That would be wine. And I don't know what's going on. Like, honestly, like I'm thinking, are the machines like green, like plants, or I really don't know what the channel's about. So like the word machines and greens, I don't know. I'm just confused.
So there is a tagline at the top here: gardening, home brewing, hydroponics, DIY, metalwork, machining, bicycling. I guess I just got myself in a complete tongue twister there. Lots of things, I think, is the answer. Far too much.
I'm going to add that to your intro next week.
Yeah, I need to clip that. Rob Wilson, bicycling all day, every day.
So, we talk about this every week, but if you don't focus, you're probably not going to win on YouTube. The only people that can do this very well are people that are celebrities, people that have power in their own brand. So if you're a YouTube channel over 100,000 subscribers, you can pretty much do whatever you want if people are there for you. If you're a vlogger, if you came from Vine or TikTok or Instagram fame, if you're an athlete or a model or a musician, you can probably do whatever you want. However, most of us, like 99% of the world, need to stick to being good at one thing. If I was into bicycling and metal and hydroponics and all the other stuff, then I would find your channel fascinating, but there's probably only 2 other people in the world that love everything you love. So find the thing you're most passionate about, or that you can create the videos easiest about, or something that you would say, if I make videos for the next 5 years about blank, I'm going to be okay with that. And just go 2 inches wide and a mile deep. Focus so that YouTube knows what your channel is about, and then people know what your channel is about, so that their subscribers, if I'm not into metalworking, I'm going to unsubscribe to you the second I see a metalworking video.
Let's take this as an example. Video down here, melting metal in a beach fire pit, DIY hash browns, growing corn. If you take those 3 thumbnails and 3 videos and then mix them up with a whole bunch of other channels, would you be able to pick these 3 videos out as being from one video creator? And that not only from the content, but from the thumbnails as well, which seem to lack a bit. Well, they've got the channel logo in there, which is a little difficult to see. But beyond that, you're absolutely right, Jeremy. I think the 2 inches wide, a mile deep concept, I think, is one that certainly this channel could look at. And you can see that in the even again, small sample size, but this one about growing corn, 20 views. This one about DIY food making, 200 views, and then this one about melting metal, 90 views. So there's a huge contrast between just those 3 videos. So what would we suggest here? If we were to give this channel some advice now, would it be along the lines of take all of these concepts, choose one, and then focus down on that for 20 videos, see how they perform, and then maybe try another one? It's that sort of, I guess, broad-based, fundamental question that the channel needs to ask themselves.
Yeah, and I would say that the next topic has to fit in within the topic before that. So if it was about hydroponics, you could talk about growing all kinds of different types of plants. If it was gardening, hydroponics fit underneath gardening. But and maybe you could even stretch it to growing grapes to making wine. But essentially, it's either about growing or it's about wine. It's not about both.
Yeah. So I think, just to hold us back a little bit, I think there's the channel, I certainly see a lot of passion and enthusiasm and effort being put into this content, but there's just far too much going on, isn't there? There's consistency, but it's split down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 or 8 different topics. So you can only be consistent 12% of the time, if my maths are right there, dividing it up into 7 or 8 topics. So that is Green Machines. We hope that you can find our advice useful in some capacity there. Next channel is a Yashu Tex. So I'm going to lead with this one, Jeremy. I'm trying to quickly determine what this channel is about, and I think it's around building your presence on social media in terms of how to operate social media platforms, like how to delete an Instagram account, how to delete a Twitter account, and then there's ones about PUBG, so a video game, and then what are the 5 latest mobiles? Okay, so your top broad-based topic is tech, but your focus is it's kind of behind a blurry lens at the moment because we're not sure what you should be focusing on. And I mean, if I was to take an example, like you could become the leading expert in how to delete accounts on several different social media platforms. That could be one way of looking at it. Or another way of looking at it could be like, I'm going to focus on Twitter. I've shown people how to delete an account. I'm going to show them how to create an account, and I'm going to show them how to tweet with good practices or how to retweet. It's like very basic beginners tutorials as a kind of starting approach to the content. But I think at the moment, the consistency in specific topic focus is where I think this is lacking. Anything you would add there, Jeremy? Just looking at maybe some view counts and thumbnails, of course, again lacking consistency as well.
Yeah, this whole theme is consistency. Tighten up your theme. Go really deep. Have consistency in branding of your thumbnails and typography and colors, and focus, Grasshopper.
I think you may have the right mindset of you're trying to answer questions people are asking. Certainly these, how to block somebody on Gmail, how to delete an Instagram account, how to know the forgotten Facebook password. I think those are all good keyword-rich questions people might be asking, but you need to decide, okay, I'm going to choose Twitter, Gmail, Instagram, whatever, and then write down 100 potential questions that you could answer in that particular area. Jeremy, I'll let you lead with this one, and it is Raja Tavar. Sorry, I probably pronounced your name wrong, but what is the channel about? Jeremy is going to try and answer that now.
All right, so what's the first thing I'm going to say, Rob?
You are going to say, I don't know what your channel's about, or are you going to talk about copyright? It's one of those two, I think. Copyright. Okay. So, consistency of using your own content over copyright, I think. Explain.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you don't own the content, even the images, Google, YouTube is now smart enough to sniff that out and know that these aren't your images. We haven't clicked on any of these. I don't know if you're taking bits of the animes and actually using them in your content. Can you just click on one real quick?
Let's go for Toy Story 4 Super Bowl. Hopefully this doesn't give us a copyright.
Okay, guys, and another TV spot
I didn't
got
think of that
released today. Again.
All right, go ahead and just click off of it.
New design, she's
Yeah.
like...
Okay.
So just be careful. If you don't own the content, definitely don't put it on your channel. That's funny, Rob. I've never thought about getting a copyright claim, talking about copyright claims, telling people not to use
especially on a live
copyright.
stream as well, where who knows what you're playing on a video.
Wow, that's funny. So yeah, just be careful. Make content that is yours, and then you don't have to worry about any of this. There are a lot of phenomenal movie reviews and tech reviews and anime review channels. Funimation.com does a good job of this. There's a lot of great examples of people taking, other content and making their own content from or talking about that content. So be careful there. Consistent thumbnails, and you're kind of all over the place. You may want to have, for example, Death Note. You may want to have 40 videos just on Death Note and 40 videos on Black Panther.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in and say, like, I'm like your average movie-going person, and I would be interested perhaps in the Captain Marvel thing because it's a very Hollywood blockbuster, appeals to a lot of people. But Sword Art Online, I have absolutely no idea what that video is, what that is about. So maybe I watch this video about Captain Marvel, and then the next one is Sword Art. I'm going to be completely switched off from the channel. So I again, Live a Tech channel, we know like your broad-based approach to content, but what is your specific interest that you think you can tell the most about and share with a really specific audience? And with that silence, I think Jeremy has concluded that look. So we'll move on to the next one. Something that's really weird so far, Jeremy, is I've not seen any gaming channels today. They must all be off playing Fortnite right now, which is incredible. But we'll happily move on with a non-gaming based audit this week. This time we're looking at Kavat Vora. It looks like an Indian channel, and this is one of these examples where this is like an Indian channel using what we might consider very westernized style thumbnails, because we've talked before about the thumbnails being really different with lots of text in and quite busy, but this one has more of the traditional types of thumbnails that we would see. Like this one, for example, really clear, higher or lower challenge. I think that's a good idea, a concept of a thumbnail. Looking at the what the channel's about: challenges, skits, vlogs, entertainment. So right there we've got 4 different topics. Is that going to be a bit of an issue trying to maintain a strong audience? But looking at your view counts, just as I do this, you have views in the hundreds from a few months ago. They've dropped a little bit, but they're all higher than your subscriber base, which means that you might be finding somewhat of a untapped area of vlogging and challenges and pranks maybe in the Indian YouTube market. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting, Jeremy. What anything from you here that we can see?
To me, it just looks kind of like TikTok, Instagram style content. One thing I would say is I would probably use some term in all of your videos that's something like India comedy or India comedian, India comedy movies, India comedy movie review, something like that. India comedy show, India kind of sketch, stand up, whatever, right? So whatever it is, I would use that because this is a global audience. People do search for those terms. I would add those. Another thing I would do is if you're not on Instagram and TikTok, I would definitely be on those platforms. I'm not sure if there's a TikTok equivalent in India or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thumbnails are great. And, I always say if it's a vlog, it doesn't necessarily have to have the rules we always talk about. So if he's a personality, if he becomes a celebrity in India, then he can talk about anything, right?
Yeah, the consistency is you, isn't it?
Exactly.
The person, and that puts a lot of pressure on yourself, but it can lead to a much more loyal fan base over time if you can nail that. Next,
but Indian comedy is also the theme, so then you could do anything you want.
Yeah. Next channel then, we are looking at Cherry Blossom. Oh, and I say we don't have any gaming channels, and we have finally found a gaming channel. Jeremy, I'll let you lead on this one. I guess the one thing I'm going to say is I like the channel name, but kind of matches the color theme. I think that's what really strong in these videos.
Yeah, the color theme is amazing. I can tell if I was on some other channel and these thumbnails popped up from that just tone of pink. They all share a very similar pink tone. Very consistent. You've got the logo for the channel on the bottom left-hand side, which is awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of great emotion, eyes, and engagement. A lot of the faces are pretty large. So really, really well done.
I think this one being a
thumbnails.
particularly good example of when it's more when there's more simplicity, it has more of an impact versus compared to maybe this one where there's a lot of characters on there. It makes it look a bit busy.
And the one you showed is perfect text. There's definitely a lot of usage of too many fonts, a lot of the text is too small. So, but the channel update was definitely my favorite thumbnail by far. So I would probably go that direction with your topography and only use one font.
And a final thing about maybe content, in terms of gaming, we've got Overwatch, then we've got Fortnite, then we've got Apex Legends. All of these are different games. And then there's one, maybe I guess, standout from a small sample size here, how to play Widowmaker on console. So that was a lot more popular than all your other videos. So again, talking about consistency, if you're going to be consistent in terms of what game you're going to play. Maybe pick one and stick to it for a certain period of time to build up an audience who's interested. Like, so we've got a Widowmaker one, Widow Jewels. I guess that's Widowmaker again. So maybe you need to include the keyword in there, and then PURGE. I think I'm just seeing a lack of consistency in the flow of content coming out of a channel. So in terms of branding, imagery, I think you're well ahead of where you should be at this point with your channel, but the type of content you're producing is maybe a little bit scattergun this time. All right, another car channel we have here, Jeremy. Wow, 2 car channels and 1 gaming channel. So change it for the books.
Yes, a 3rd car channel.
Obviously, you are right, yeah, because of a BMW one as well, as well as Colorado Racing. Garage 17 here. Wow, what I'm seeing immediately is a very small subscriber size so far, but each of your videos gets well above your audience size. So I think that's really strong here. Have we got like similar symptoms here to the Colorado one, where maybe they need to find like what the keyword here is? Autocross seems to be one used on a regular occurrence, which is doing well. It's kind of tailed off a little bit. Again, the fonts are a little bit wacky in terms of consistency. I think it's going to be a very similar approach to the other car channel that wasn't quite that focused, would you say?
Absolutely. And one term I would just say is at the beginning of almost every single title, I'd use autocross racing, autocross tips, autocross build, things like that. So you're probably, with the small channel with 31 subscribers, you're probably not going to rank for autocross, but you may rank for autocross racing tips. So you want to get more long tail and then put something like autocross racing tips or autocross build tips, racing build, something like that. Make it longer, and you'll probably be able to go make 50 videos on autocross racing build or racing tips, and you'll probably be able to start doubling and tripling your subscribers and your views.
Boom, folks. What we're going to do now is take another short break to allow me to load up some more channels. We're also going to do the Q&A session straight when we get back. So if you do have a question, just save it until we get back into the live stream, and we'll see you after these fantastic messages from the same sponsor as before, vidIQ. Back in a moment. Does running a YouTube channel sometimes make you feel dazed and confused? Well, that's why you might need a little education. And I think I've already played the advert, so let's play vidIQ. Sorry about that. If your YouTube channel is stuck in a rut, maybe it's time you gave it the vidIQ boost treatment. Still not convinced? Here's 10 reasons why you should.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.
vidIQ.com.
With vidIQ Boost, you have complete access to one of the most powerful marketing tools on YouTube, the channel audit. It will show you in a snapshot what's working on your channel, what isn't working on your channel, and all of those little things like titles, tags, and end screens that you need to fix. We also take the guesswork out of search engine optimization with our keyword suggestion tools. Knowing what people are searching for means you know what to include in your titles, tags, and descriptions, all of which you can add with a single click. With our competitor tracking tool, you can follow up to 20 channels working in the same video space as you. If their content is catching fire, chances are they're doing something right, and you need to add your own spin to the topic. One of our Boost exclusive tools is bulk SEO. This analyzes content you have already published and shows you how people are finding that content and how you can improve it further with keywords you're not even using. Have vidIQ do the work for you by alerting you through email with a list of videos that are trending based on your search criteria. If you see a trend blowing up, it's time to ride that wave for massive channel growth. Want to quickly post videos natively on Facebook rather than YouTube links? Our syndication tool can do that for you in just a few easy clicks. Through subscriber analysis, you can discover what your fans do when they're not watching you. This can help you discover new video topics and channels of interest, as well as understanding when your subscribers are online, so you know the best time to publish your content. Have you ever wanted to know which channels covering similar topics to you are having viral moments, no matter how big or indeed how small the channel is? Our most viewed tool will help you uncover those hidden gems. With vidIQ Boost, you also get vidIQ Pro features as well, which include our titles, tags and descriptions translation tool, as well as the controversial keyword checker, saving you from possible demonetization flags. And while we're on the subject of upgrade banners and locked features and rocket icons you might have seen as a vidIQ free user, with vidIQ Boost, all of this goes away. You have complete access to every single one of our tools. Our support team is available and ready to answer your questions in the supported languages on screen now. Start boosting your channel today and let us educate you on your YouTube journey. All right, folks, we are back. I just need to press some buttons to make sure that Jeremy can be seen on screen for a second. Right. I think I pressed the wrong button there. Let me just fix that. There he is. Okay, we've got you back on screen. Jeremy, no more static image of you. We can see you in full animation. No expense spared on the CGI for Jeremy this week. Right, folks, let's have your questions. I'm going to put up this message here, which says #question. This helps us see questions that are being asked, and we want you to keep your questions based around the theme of consistency. So any burning questions that have come up throughout this live stream or the channels that we've been auditing that you want to know about being consistent on YouTube, ask them now. This is your opportunity to ask somebody who likes to do live streams and an actual expert. You make of that what you will, who is one and who is the other. And so we have our first question here, Jeremy, that I will ask to you. And it comes from JK Question. My best videos are clickbait. How can I fix this?
Well, JK Nation, I would say that if the video delivers what the clickbait is, then it's not clickbait. So if you have the 7 best tips for vacationing in Jamaica, and they really are, in your opinion, the 7 best tips, then it's not clickbait per se. It's actually just truth and, in your mind. So if you deliver, it's not clickbait. There is always a balance between making great content people want to consume and making it clickable enough that people will consume it. So you know your limitations. If it's not true, don't say it.
Question here from Off for Jacks here. I've just started doing some 360 videos. Where do you see 360 videos going? Now, I assume you're talking about 360 degree videos and not Xbox 360. 360 videos were kind of, YouTube was promoting them quite strongly 2 or 3 years ago, but I've never really seen any takeoff of these types of videos. They're very much niche. What would you say, Jeremy? I don't want to put somebody off trying to experiment with something, and if you consistently are the best 360 style video creator on YouTube, then you may have an opportunity, but how big is the market for such a thing?
Yeah, I think that it is limited to a thing. For example, maybe you have a 360 drone and you're going through the national parks. That's something people will experience. You can just upload a 360 video and people can, immerse themselves in that environment. Maybe you are, going towards virtual reality or something where you're immersing people into an experience or a place or a thing. But other than that, 360 video is not really taken off, at least in America. I did, before I started working here, a lot of work with Car and Driver Magazine in 360. We would go to the car shows and we would show the interior of all the new cars coming out for the year. And that went off really, really well, millions of views, because people wanted to see what the insides of cars look like before they hit the showroom floors. So there's always a place and a reason to do 360 videos. But right now, I would say it's more about traveling and situational. Like, let's say you're a race car driver. People may want to experience that.
Come on, Jeremy, fire a question at me. I'm ready now. I'm psyched up. Here we go.
All right. How do I get my people to my live stream?
So YouTube should be sending out notifications when you do that. There is a big question I often wrestle with here is when should I actually publicly schedule my live stream. At the moment, we do it like an hour in advance because my kind of philosophy is that if I try and schedule my live stream 2 or 3 days before, people see the notification then. It's like, oh, it's in 2 or 3 days, and then completely forget about it when it starts. Whereas if somebody sees that the live stream starting in about an hour, they think, oh, well, I'll clear some time in an hour. But if it's 2 or 3 days in advance, then I'll just forget about it. So when you actually schedule a live stream in advance, you got to think about that. Then just maybe sharing it across different distribution platforms. If you've got Facebook, Twitter, and so on. The smaller the channel, the more difficult this is. I mean, you may think that like 170 concurrent viewers we have now seems small for a 300,000 subscriber channel, but believe you me, getting people into live streams is a really difficult thing to do. And we are extremely grateful that you've spent an hour and 10 minutes so far joining us on live stream. So those are a couple of things you can try. And I would just say, be consistent with your live stream. If you're going to do one on a Tuesday, do it at the same time every single week, because it's kind of like a committed TV schedule. People are going to get the most from it when they watch it live. So don't do it 1 week at 3 p.m. and the next week at 9 p.m. on a completely different day. Try and stay consistent with that to build a habit with the committed hardcore audience, which you folks certainly are. Go on, Jeremy, I'll take another one. I felt I answered that one quite well.
That was good. The YouTube platform has seemed to grow more volatile in regards to demonetization, media blowback. What's your outlook on the platform in the coming years?
I wish I hadn't taken on this question now. So I would say that, like any platform that grows to such a size, we've seen this with Facebook. They're going through they've gone through the growing pains. Now they're going through the pains of everybody's holding them accountable for everything that happens because so many people use it. And YouTube is just starting to feel the first signs of it. So I think like the Wild West days of YouTube, where you could just start as an individual video creator and make a serious income, are getting harder and harder in one sense. But more and more people are using YouTube. I think in the past, there was less scrutiny of video creators, and they could, I guess, essentially get away with a little bit more. And now they're not. They're having to follow. It's almost like when you think about a TV company, when they produce a television show, there's probably 100 people who produce it because they've got to do so many things, follow so many guidelines. There's probably a big block of legal documents that they have to sign. And now YouTube's sort of going along these routes. And I'm saying this as somebody who has no real experience working in television, but I feel as if YouTube wants to see itself more as a ubiquitous provider of content rather than the individual creator. I might be wrong about that, but that's kind of feels like where YouTube is going, and is more. I mean, corporations are interested in YouTube now. I mean, Jeremy, you could probably help me out a little bit here in terms of where the conscious of YouTube is going, but that's how it feels like to me as who was once an individual video creator and still is to a certain extent, producing all the content on vidIQ.
Yeah, and I would just say if you have a business and you have a website and you're on other platforms, just consider YouTube like an artist would consider a paintbrush or ink or chalk or oil paints. And if you do that, if you actually diversify your authority, and you're on maybe LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat, Facebook, and you have your own website and you're doing blog posts, then if one of those arms die, then you can still live. Your business can still thrive. A lot of creators don't consider themselves businessmen, or women, but they are, because you're selling yourself or a product or a service. So if you have a good hub and a solid content marketing strategy, you can survive all storms. You know, the biggest social media platform to begin with many, many years ago was MySpace. And it's really, no one talks about MySpace now. So the biggest giants right now, I guarantee you, one of the top 5 or 10 biggest of the giants will probably be dead in 5 to 10 years, because that's just the nature of new stuff's coming. New stuff's coming. TikTok is huge, and people don't really talk about that much.
All right, let's take some quick questions and answers then. So I'll give one to you, Jeremy, and then you fire one back to me. But we've got to try and be as quick as we can with the answers here. So question from Modern Regime. Does editing metadata disrupt the flow of velocity?
It can, but YouTube says it doesn't. So I did it. So in the past, if you edited the title, we definitely saw drops in views. I actually did this on my test channel recently. I changed the title of my biggest performing video with about 30,000 views, and I did not see a decrease. So I think this has changed.
Yeah.
Now, if you edit the tags, titles, and descriptions to something the video is not, it could be detrimental to that video. So you can't make the video be something it's not. That could harm it. But if you are making subtle changes, I actually think it's okay now.
Jeremy, I think you have your first super fan here. Ashutosh Tiwari says, Jeremy is very cute. Question for me.
All right. So, sorry, should I close caption my videos on Spanish?
If so, check your video demographics and see if you are getting an audience from Spanish-speaking countries. Whether you should do this, I mean, there's always a benefit to doing captions in any language because it helps supposedly with YouTube as metadata categorizing your content. But I appreciate that as a smaller channel, that takes a lot of time, energy, resources, and money. So you have to decide. I mean, we do it and we probably benefit from between 10 to 20% more viewers because we do that. But it can change quite a lot between different channels. Question for you, Jeremy, is going to be... I'm not seeing the hashtag questions, folks. It's a little difficult to ask you questions. To ask the questions. Are 8th grade students mature enough to do YouTubing? So, what do you think to that question?
Well, I mean, technically, legally, 13 and up are allowed to.
What
do
is 8th
that.
grade? Is that like
it's
12?
13? It's 13
okay,
normally. Yeah. I only know that because my daughter's in the 9th grade. So basically, I would say yes and no. I mean, this is a tough part of life, right? 8th grade is pretty tough. So what I would do at this point is I would probably only do one video a week and don't put too much pressure and stress on yourself and have fun. I think a lot of us forget that most of us that are big on YouTube these days in 2019 started very humble.
Yeah.
I really don't know many creators that did this for the money. It'd be like playing basketball at 13 years old because you wanted to be pro and make millions of dollars. Most of people don't do that. That just isn't what happens to most of us. So if you just have fun and that, you know, curiosity becomes a passion and you just love what you do, your fans will find that. And, you know, when you're 18 or 19 or 50, then you'll have a platform and maybe YouTube will still be around in 40 something years.
All right, here we go. Quick fire round. We're both just going to try and answer these questions as quickly as possible. Nolfi Snorlax says, question, same font, different font, okay or no go? My answer, same, similar font every video. Question here from Only the Andersons. Are silent streams frowned upon? I've seen a few of these. I'm not familiar with what a silent stream is, to be honest. So do maybe explain what it is in the chat. But yeah,
it's maybe without audio. That's all I can figure out.
What else have we got here, Jeremy? If you see any, just far away.
Yeah.
Higher quality videos every 2 weeks or lower quality videos every 1 week. So the balance between quantity versus quality.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know, both ways. Evan Carmichael does 3 video uploads a day or more. And then Dude Perfect with 40 something million subscribers only does less than 4 videos a month or even less sometimes than that. And both strategies are winning. Evan's about to hit 2 million subscribers. Dude Perfect's at 40 million. So the truth is, if you have a distribution plan, then you can make videos once a week or once a month. If you don't have an audience, Going back to the analogy at the beginning of this is, building that brick wall, one brick at a time, laying down that foundation, one video at a time every week, I think is going to be a better, safe bet for both the algorithm, the subscribers to get to know you.
I would say quantity tends to lend itself more towards trending content. What you're trying to do is get content out there that hits something that's really popular right now. Quality content tends to rely more on you as a video creator. You are known or renowned for something like do perfect. Don't necessarily follow trending content per se. There is still some I guess they'll probably follow trends to a certain extent, but people watch Do Perfect because it's Dude Perfect, not necessarily because it's about PewDiePie versus T-Series or the iPhone 10 or whatever is the latest story. Master Girlie, should I start live streaming? Sure, give it a try. Experiment. You might as well if you've never done it before. RSH, how to not get demonetized. Follow all of the community guidelines on YouTube and do not use copyright content. I think.
And I've got one for you here, Rob.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I had the good fortune of getting a spike in my views in the past few days.
Sweet.
With some old videos that I posted almost 3 years ago.
That's always nice when that happens.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to use that to increase my overall channel. Rob, what tool do we have?
We have the channel audit tool, which is going to start telling you that these videos are doing well again, and you could double down on them. And I would just be saying if there's a sudden spike in them, maybe find out why. Is it something to do with a search term that suddenly got popular? Look at your traffic sources. Look at your suggested videos. We've also got that in the channel audit. Maybe there's another video that's suddenly linked to yours. And so if you can get the information from there and say, okay, so it's the keyword there, that's what seems to be really triggering here. Make more of that content if it's still relevant, and I assume it must be if people are suddenly starting to watch the content. Is that the channel you were thinking of, Jeremy? We also like challenge each other, and the answer in your head is not necessarily the same one as in mine.
Absolutely, that was perfect.
Also, folks, I do want to apologise if we've got a bit of a height problem here. Jeremy looks as if he's like 2 or 3 inches higher than me at the moment that I'm seeing in the live stream. So we're going to have a camera face-off here. Like, do I move my camera or did Jeremy moves his? I guess it doesn't matter anymore because we were going to go now into our quickfire audit section. So when I press a few buttons to make sure that Jeremy can see my screen. Jeremy, look at the channel we're about to audit here. I think I'm going to let you take on this one. And we're going to start, but remember we're doing quick audits now, so we're going to try and go through these as quickly as possible to cover as many channels as we can.
Can you sort by most viewed real quick?
Yes, I can. And folks, we're going to try and get through as many as we can in the time that we have. So Jeremy, take it away on Dave at 504 with 2.5 million subscribers.
And hi, Dave. I've seen you in the chat today. I can't do a quick audit chat with a channel with 2 million views, but what I can say is it seems like you're doing really well with thumbnails. You have the 3 E's, eyes, expression, or emotion, and excitement. You have a really good, like we know it's something, a bass or, some type of musical instrument. You have great thumbnails. Your titles are phenomenal. Bass solo, bass line, string, bass solo, fidget spinner on bass guitar. So you clearly are dominating like a bass guitar, bass solo, and you're killing it. So I think that if you saturated the colors on your thumbnails just about 30% more, even made your thumbnails a little sharper, and then possibly did more of the colored backgrounds with your thumbnails, I think you'd probably get a little more click-through rate, views to impressions, impressions to views rather. And then you may want to experiment with more of the 15 string bass solo. So, 7 top tips. You may want to just get more clickbaity-ish, but it's not clickbait if it delivers on your titles.
I think these thumbnails here are a great example of where there's all sorts of consistency going on here, but it's not repetition per se, because you can see through and I know this now from last week, the neck of a guitar, the string, each of the strings is slightly different to give you that visual impact. So yeah, Dave, if you did appreciate this very quick audit, then do make sure to share it on your community tab, because we would really appreciate the shareability. Look, you haven't posted for 3 hours. I think it's about time you said, hey, I just got a channel audit from these guys. Wasn't it lovely? All right. I promise you, we're not doing this on purpose. It's just, I did not know that channel had 2.5 million subscribers when I loaded it up.
Today's the car channel, Dave.
I just take any, you're right, and I just take any channel from the list. All right, yeah, we are looking at what looks to be a car channel here about Rocket League video gaming. And so this is an example of a channel which has about 1,000 subscribers, live streaming, and they've got 10 people watching right now, which does make me wonder, did you give up on our live stream and start live streaming yourself? Which in that case, why are we auditing this channel? But in terms of consistency, I think there is consistency in that you're showing cars in each of your thumbnails, but they're a little busy. You might want to maybe remove these little icons and the menu, sort of blow up the car and make that look big in each of your videos. You're getting generally consistent views of around about 100, but I'm finding that the font that you use is very distracting. I'm always drawn to some green writing that I can't read very well in each of these thumbnails. Anything else there, Jeremy, as we quickly move through these channels?
Nope. Yep. You're good.
Okay, I'll let you take this one then, Jeremy. Designed by Kerry Ann. Nearly 70 subscribers for you. Another one of these acrylic visual art type channels. What can we say about this one?
All right, I would just really saturate those colors on the thumbnails and get the designs a lot bigger. Scroll down just a little bit, and there's 108 acrylic pouring collab. That one is really good because you can see what the actual design pattern looks like. For example, pouring acrylic on a shoe, you really need to make that shoe like 90% of the size of the thumbnail, or people won't be able to actually see it. It's just too small to see. So with acrylic painting, I would also use like acrylic pouring, acrylic, whatever the term of this is. I forgot. Some people use cups, So I would get as long tail as you can. I'm guessing that your channel is too small for ranking for acrylic pouring, so you need to have 5 or 6 words.
My apologies, folks. I just jumped the gun a little early there, but I hope you find that useful. Okay, the entertainment. My first thought is when I look at the thumbnails and I look at the channel banner very quickly, a simple question. What is this channel about? I can't see a consistent theme or pattern here. And the thumbnails are completely different on every single video, which is really confusing me about what is in here. Gaming, skits and more. Okay, so it's another one of these channels where you probably need to focus on one of these topics for the foreseeable future and build a consistency around that with your content. You're posting consistently though, which is good to see, and your channel is relatively new as well, so you've built established a little bit of an audience there. But yeah, what is your main focus and consistently produce on that topic? Jeremy, wow, look at this one, HK Basketball. Now we're into some proper gaming channels. Love the thumbnails. What do you think here, Jeremy?
Thumbnails are amazing.
Yeah.
0 changes there. So the only thing I can kind of see from the surface here is just an inconsistent title strategy. Can you sort by most viewed real quick?
Yes, I can.
My guess and my theory is the most viewed videos have the game at the beginning. And I'm completely wrong.
That doesn't seem to be the case now. Oh, well, completely one of those things.
All right. Well, Fortnite montage was in there, but all right. That's all I got.
Let's just have a look at the newest ones again. Yeah, it seems like you got the right channel focus now, and because it's Fortnite, it's just one of those where you are going to have to be a little patient until you find videos that really click. Like this one here, how to get into bot lobbies in Fortnite. That got way more views than any of your most recent videos. Can you consistently produce content on that very specific thing on Fortnite, which may help you? And I don't know, maybe time to change the channel name, because I don't think your channel's about basketball anymore. Another Fortnite channel it looks like here from Snotty. I think... Snotty, here's what you should do. Look at this channel's thumbnails and try and create a consistent level of quality in the thumbnails that you're producing, because... Again, like simple canvas, folks, if you were going to visit either of these two channels, which one would you visit first? Which channel would you watch content from? You're probably going to look at the one which has the cleaner design on their thumbnails. Also, you're consistently producing very short videos, which I would say look at the view counts from these very short videos versus videos with longer duration, longer watch time. Those tend to be the ones that are watched more from your audience, so that's something to look at as well for you. Jeremy, Tia Cat, channel with nearly 1,000 subscribers. Some intriguing thumbnails here. What do we say about this one? Another gaming channel.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting is some of your videos have a huge dislike ratio. I wonder if you're doing something polarizing or something people don't like.
It's a very small sample size. It's difficult. Like it's 3 likes versus 1 dislike. So,
but even like down there on top 5, there's 50% and 50% and 60%. So a lot of the content you're doing near half,
it is consistent around all your videos, isn't it? Around all the videos. Yeah,
there's something people aren't liking about it. So you may want to figure that out, or find a way to have those people engage with your content more. But I find that curious. I wonder what's going on there. Are you saying stuff people don't like, or are the wrong people clicking on your videos? If you really are trying to rank for Discord, I would have like you have high school Discord very close in the beginning, like you've done a good job there. Maybe actually have your face in the thumbnails. And then the biggest thing I would say is you're just doing all kinds of things. So I would focus in on just Discords or just Xbox, but I would not do tons and tons of different types of content.
For a duration of time, like the last 2 months, you've probably covered at least 2 or 3 different games, and then also console talk as well, the tech behind it. Next channel, let's see if I can pronounce this right the first time. Danana Banana, I love that. I love saying that. Danana Banana. It looks like another gaming channel, maybe. I'd say something that you probably don't want to do in your titles is play about this much to the point where I just do not understand that at all. I mean, is that a meme thing, a PewDiePie type of thing? Maybe I'm just not down with the kids these days, and I'm as old as Jeremy in that sense. But yeah, I don't get it. And I could be wrong about that, but and then this one here, deathrun.exe, is that just a file name from your video? I think consistency of titles is the first thing that you would need to look at. And yeah, what is the channel about? I don't know what the channel is about from your channel banner. And you're jumping from topic to topic. We've got CSGO here, Minecraft, Fortnite, I assume, on that one. So a bit more focus there. However, saying that, in the 3 months that you've been on YouTube, hey, you've got 85 subscribers, and one video at least has got into triple digits, which is always very difficult to do. Jeremy, I'll let you say that username once.
Dana Banana.
Yeah, not bad. I'll give you a 7 out of 10 for that one. What have we got here, Jeremy? FIFA Freestyler 22.
Hey, this should probably be more your speed.
What, you mean this channel?
Yeah. Soccer. I don't know anything about football. So
I think there's some channel things missing here. Like you haven't got a video tab. So I can't remember when that happens, when there's something that you've not done on your channel which enables all of the features like playlists and stuff. I can't remember how that happens. But anyway, so I'll tell you what's interesting here. I assume you're a female from this thumbnail, the only thumbnail where I can tell that you're a female who's interested in soccer. I think that gives you somewhat of a unique opportunity here in terms of a female gamer footballer, I think, from the thumbnails. And you should be selling that more in your content, and then sticking to your focus, because you're got some stuff about football, but then you've got a video about 80 Mardi Gras there, which is complete departure from what your content would usually be about. And then the usual questions of consistency in terms of thumbnails. If you look at each of these thumbnails, the fonts are completely different in every single one. Can't read what's on that one at all. So just general fixes here and there in your channel. Jeremy, what have we got here from Sean Cooper? SHVWN Siobhan Cooper, nearly 2,000 subscribers.
Before, I want to answer one question from chat.
Yep.
Gline01 keeps on telling everyone that this isn't a live show. So I just wanted to say it is a live show.
We are live. Yeah. So by reading your question, this is live, and all of the mistakes and errors that go along with it.
All right. Back to Sean Cooper. You know, I like a lot of the aspects of these thumbnails because they're exciting. Like, he's always smiling and it just looks fun. Like,
yeah.
You know, there's a lot of great color and pop, and it just feels fun. The only thing I would say is I think the text is too small. Even though the text looks cool, for the most part, most people won't be able to read this text, especially when it's about 20-something% smaller when it's on the right-hand side than it is now. So it is going to be a little too small. So I made it to New York. I can read that, but I can't read the text above it. So use less words, but I love your style and your topography and everything. So keep on going. Great thumbnails. The thing I don't understand is I don't know what real AF would be. I don't know if that's like a meme or that's just like a show name that you have, but I don't think a lot of people are searching real AF right now. Maybe they are, but I don't know that. But if they're not, then I would find another term that categorizes your whole channel. Like, what is your focus?
And the last thing I would say is maybe you don't need any text at all potentially. And the reason I say that is because in every single thumbnail and title, you are replicating your title in your thumbnail. So maybe experiment with zero text at all as kind of an experimentation away from the norm. And what do we have here? Flair Talks, 650 subscribers. Again, some really strong, consistent thumbnails here. And your focus does seem to, so it looks as if you got a two-game focus here, Paladins and Astroneer. So let's have a look at this. I mean, here's a really good example, I think. Look at how many views you get for each of your Paladins videos, around about 150 to 200. And look at how many views you get for the Astroneer ones, 20. 22, 28, 45. I think it is a clear indication there that you should be consistently producing content on the Paladin games, which I think you have more authority on. Anything to add from there for you, Jeremy?
No, it looks great. The thumbnails are good. I would just focus on one game at a time.
Boom! Folks, as always, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the live stream this week. Just going to bring Jeremy back into shot. There he is. Any sort of final summations from this week's live stream, other than the fact that I say bicycling? I would say that, look, most of the mistakes we make as creators are very similar. Probably 80 to 90% of the things that we told you guys you could apply to your channels. Instead of just complaining that we're not getting to your channel audits, do me a favor and take all this information and apply it to your channel and show us how you can do this, how you can be a creator. And we're here for you. This is the whole reason we do this, and let us know how we can improve. It's been an absolute pleasure, folks, as always. If you want to say your goodbyes, we will be doing shout-outs over the next 2 minutes. As I said at the top of this show, if you are new to the vidIQ live stream, do make sure to give us a thumbs up. We really do appreciate the engagement. If you want to know more about us, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to start using the vidIQ Chrome extension, which will give you a 24/7 channel audit, make sure to download the Chrome extension. There is a link in the video description. With all that being said, I want to say thank you very much for the following people who joined us today. Those are being Minor Bro, Ash, who thinks Jeremy is very cute, Ambot, Simo, Phantom Ice, The Girl That Can Draw, Going Full Nerd, Katie, Everything's Wanted Gaming, the ML Gamer, you just got your shout out there. Jeremy, who else are we saying goodbye to?
We have the Simple Me Tay, RSH, Minor Bro, Hayes House, Streaky. Sorry, Streaky, I don't know if we audited your channel. It happens too fast. And Gun Rob Gaming.
And Ben Millinger, RSH, Streaky, sorry if we say any of these more than once, Best Stuff Compilations, Immortal Big D, Ben Fries, Jolene01, Austin Plays, every single one of you who's been here this week, we thank you for your time, and we will see you next week for the vidIQ live stream. Jeremy, as always, awkward ways while I roll us out this week.